Hey guys. Good to see you. Um, hey Josh. Yeah, Jin. Uh, we'll wait for other people to join us. And if you have any questions in the meanwhile, um, yeah, bring them up. Um, yeah, I like the discussions I'm seeing in the forum. That's pretty cool. Or at least, there's some subset of you who are having these discussions. A large number of people, I think, are just, too shy to post, maybe. I don't know. But we've got to coax some good posts out of everyone. Um, I'll speak to that during the class. What time is it? 6:01. Why aren't more people joining? Josh is tutor and I'm the prof, and there's only 4 people in class. We'll give it a few minutes, yeah, and I'm thinking that I don't know who. I think there was someone took a Matthias posted some code, and then Mark posted the bugs fixed version, but it still had some bugs, but he fixed one important bug. And I think Brandon, you said the same thing too, yeah? So you got the same thing working with the bugs.
Yeah, similarly. I was able to get it to the point where it would actually produce the right amount of like dots or periods, I should say.
Oh, I see. Okay, so
columns.
well, yeah, great, fantastic, fantastic. That's so let's use that as our starting point today. Yeah. Okay. So that means that the person who's going to live code, we have at least one person, and then we have a reference point towards where we're driving. So let's get it up to there, and then I'll chime in at that point. I want to extend it a bit more. Also we'll make sure all the bugs are fixed and all, so that we get this nice effect. And then I want to extend it a bit more by adding one more class and seeing how different classes can play with each other. Okay, see all the power of these objects, and the fun of implementing these methods. It actually does get really tempting. I'm pretty sure it will, right? Because you create an object and you start adding methods to it. That's the API. And there's a sweet spot for beginners just to add lots and lots of methods. But you find out at some point it's a sweet spot. So that's what we'll go for. Okay, so we're going to add more methods to the screen class and the point class, so that together they can do some cool stuff. Okay, so all right, so we're going to just go with the whoever is going to live code today. Hey Francis, it's been a while since you live coded. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so you want to take the screen? Unfortunately, wait a sec, okay? Unless someone who's got their camera off. Manya or Jin coded last class. Hey Jin, did you coded last class, yeah?
Oh no, I coded in the first week
The
of
first week?
class.
Oh, well, you can do it later. Manya, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Manya.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you coded recently, yeah, like a few classes ago. All right, Francis is going to be our coder to start with, but when he gets tired, instead of toiling on like Zara last class, you're basically going to say, "I'm tired," and then point your finger at anyone that you see on screen. Okay, everybody in gallery mode, hopefully. Okay, so everybody's game. After that, it's basically like musical chairs or whatever it is, the tag thing. So he will call out at some point and say, "Take over." Okay, so you got to essentially share that orange link and be, ready to code from there. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to drive towards that program that we had last week. If it has a few bugs, that's okay, but Brandon had a fix for at least a couple of them. So let's fix them, and then I'll come and join you guys, fix the remaining bugs, and then we'll introduce one more class. And the idea that I wanted to, well, this week really is, classes, objects, constructors, which we've covered, and then methods also. So the functions we're adding and attaching to these classes, they are the methods. Okay, and about standard methods like get me this value. And hey, actually, hey, speaking of that, Brandon had a good question. Was it Brandon? I forgot. You asked about the getters. Why is it a void? Was it you?
Yeah, I was trying to kind of theorize in my head
Yeah,
why
yeah,
everyone would
yeah.
want it
Good,
to
good
be a void.
question. Yeah, because intuitively a getter should return something. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I'm glad you asked that question. In this case, we decided to do it this way because you don't want to get the X or Y independently. So instead of two calls, just make it one call, and then you can pass it by reference. And it's all you can just do it inline. So you don't even have to have it out of line, right? So you just do the definition right there and fill in the values. I think that I thought it'll be more succinct. Yeah, but it's your personal style. Yeah, because those two things go in pairs all the time, X and Y, row and column, it's helpful not to separate them. And it matters. It doesn't matter, but but it's a very good question. Okay, getters, conventionally, all programmers would expect them to return a value. And so Brandon raised this very important point. I don't know who responded to it, but someone should respond to it, right? Getters intuitively to a professional programmer returns a value. So in this case, we're doing it conscious of the fact that it goes against convention, given that it's just a one-liner, and it's blindingly obvious, right? It's blindingly obvious that it's a void, and this is the reason. The ampersand and passing by reference. There are a bunch of methods that you will write, and methods that in the standard library too, that you will invoke, that pass parameters by reference, with the idea that the result will be computed. And hey, actually, someone did it was not even in C++, going all the way back to C, ancient C and Unix. Someone actually did make a point about this in the forum about the time function, or someone mentioned it. Because historically, time is doing that. When you call time with a reference to an integer, really, in those days, a reference to an integer is a pointer to an integer, right? It will take the value and put it in that pointer. So essentially, that's a parameter point passed by a reference. Yeah, time. So that's essentially what we're doing. But it's a very important stylistic point, much appreciated by me, at the very least. Okay, if nobody else likes your question, I actually do like it very much. Thank you. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to code all of what we did last class and get it to that stage that hopefully Brandon will just be backup, okay? Someone else should call out the code. Maybe even Matthias, or who else coded last class? Zara's not here. Yeah, okay. Anyone else should also just feel free to call out the code, and then Brandon will just be backup, okay? And then, because he had the most recent version that we're driving towards. Is that okay? I'll just step away from your face right now. Hey, by the way, Ethan and Leyu and Taksoyan, you should all switch on your cameras too, okay? Because yeah, thank you. Okay, now I can, well, right now I don't have to see I don't have to be able to read what you type because someone else is going to call the code, okay? When I'm back here, I'll reduce the size to make the font more readable for me. Okay, all right, so just feel free to call me if you have any questions, right? Otherwise, I'm hoping that as soon as I turn the laptop around, someone is going to call out the code, starting with the comment at the very top, which is class code for today's date. We are going to reproduce the program we started writing last class, okay? You don't have to do any more comments after that. You can just start coding. Okay, you can call me if you're stuck. I'm absolutely happy to come back and help, but I'd like to hear voices all the time. Just talk about anything at all. Okay, anything at all is fine. Just the airwaves just need to be occupied. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. I'm just going to be here. I'm going to be listening to you guys. Okay. So if there's absolute silence, then I'll come back and join the show and say, well, okay, this is what we're going to do. But really, this is a fantastic opportunity you guys should be doing. You should be driving. Okay. It's like, learning to drive is, when can I get behind the wheel? And that, yeah. So you should basically take this opportunity and drive. And because the prof has driven it many times, yes, like I'm pretty sure if you go to a driving school, that guy has driven it many times. The guy who's teaching you how to drive. But as a teenager, you feel the excitement, saying, "Well, at last I'm behind this thing that I can control," and so that's the kind of thing. Yeah. So don't let the people that already know how to program, don't let them program. You should just take all these opportunities. Because I'll just do it unconsciously, not unconsciously, subconsciously. Because if there's an opportunity, I'll just jump in because it's something that I've done and I can do very easily. But I'll be eating your lunch if I was doing that. Yes. Because as people have, even in the quests, when people say, well, this is not working for me, tell me the answer. No, I'm not going to, because ultimately I'll just be eating your lunch if I told you what the answer is. But if you found it yourself, then it's yours to keep. It's not mine. I don't have to take it back because I gave it to you. Right. So just find it yourself and it's yours to keep. Right. So that's all. Any questions at all, feel free to call me. Okay. I'm just going to be here about 20 minutes max. Okay. 6:11 now. Actually, you know what? We only start coding at 6:10. So it's kind of good on time. So yeah, all right. How about 6:20? 6:30. Okay, 6:30. We'll try and take the code there, try and fix all the bugs, and then try and do something interesting with it, right? One more class and a few more methods. All right, okay. I'm just going to be here, okay? So I'm going to drink some water and then be around behind the camera, behind the laptop. So I should be able to hear you guys. So if you just call out to me, I'll be back here.
So should we get started?
Yeah, if you want to do the boilerplate. Okay.
I don't know if I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, the only other include that we had as well was the UniSTD.h1.
Is that it?
And then after the using namespace, we'll go ahead and create a class called screen. Then we'll define the private definitions with a size t. And then we'll initialize a couple of top underscore left underscore row. And then top left call. And then width and height. And then after that, we'll go ahead and get started on our public. From there, we'll go ahead and do the first constructor, the screen. Oh, yeah, just type in screen. And then parentheses. Size t. We'll go ahead and give it just a row. And then comma. We'll do size t again for a column or a call. Yeah. And then 2 of them for width and height, W and H. Curly brackets. And then after that, we'll set the privates to those passed in parameters. At top left row equals row. Yep. So then after we've established that, we'll go ahead and start on the getters from that point. Void. I'm sorry.
Was it indented?
Yeah, that or that's perfect. Yeah, it was that. Get top left. And then we're gonna pass to reference parameters, size t for row and size t call. Yep. And then we're gonna go ahead and set row equal to the top left row and then the call to the top left call. And then we'll do pretty much the same type of function, but with the dimensions instead. Yeah, get underscore dimensions. Yep. Then we're going to pass the two references W and H. Yep. Thank you to Matthias for figuring out this one. And then we'll do a W equals width and then H equals height. And then after that, we'll do the move to function. It's another void. Move underscore to, yep. And then we're going to pass the row and call, not as references. And then we're going to see out. Okay, this one's a little bit weird. In quotations marks. Backslash, yeah, backslash 033. And then an open square bracket right after the 3. And then you're going to do the shift, yeah, and then row. Then another shift, yeah. Quotation marks with semicolon inside. And then left shift down, gonna pass in call. And then another set of quotation marks, capital H. Yeah. Go ahead, put a semicolon at the end, and then we're going to flush it. So C out dot flush. Yep. Okay. And then after that, we're going to have the next 4 commands just initialized over here. So go ahead and put a void for clear. Yep. And then another void, but for fill, and then we're going to pass a character in it C. And then another void to mark underscore corners. And then the last function void say underscore at. Let's see, inside the parentheses, we're going to pass in size T row, a size T call, and a string S. Okay, so we're done building the class. So then after that, we're going to go ahead and yeah, define the first function. So void, void at the beginning.
Void at the beginning.
Yeah, and then screen clear. Yep, and then so we're going to do string. It's going to be called blanks, and it's going to have actually parentheses right after, like, attached to blanks, set of parentheses. And then we're going to pass in width, comma, space, and then single quotation. Yep, perfect. I think this is to essentially print out like whatever amount of empty spaces, whatever we pass in with width. So then we're going to create the for loop afterward. Give it the standard size T, I equals 0. And then for the condition, we'll do I if I is less than height. And then, yeah, I plus plus. And then we're going to pass in the command say underscore at for function. And then with the parentheses, we're gonna pass through top left row. And then top left call plus I. Guess actually. Yeah, we'll do that for now. And then blanks. And then we'll go ahead and create the next function for fill. So void screen fill, pass in the character C. And then from there, we're going to give it the string, but for line. So string and then call it line. Same thing with the parentheses, pass in width and then the character C. Yep, perfect. Another for loop. Same thing, size t I equals 0, I is less than height, plus plus. Sorry, after the height, yeah. And then we're gonna do say at. But I think what Mark came up with was for top left row, you're gonna pass that in first, but you're gonna add that by I. And then for the top left call, that would just be by itself, and then the line. That way we're actually like going down in row every single time. And then after that, we're going to create the say at function. So the void screen say at. Then pass in size t row, size t call, and string s. And for here, we're gonna put the move to function here, and then pass in row and call. And then after that, we'll go to a new line. Then we're gonna see out s, no endl. And then see out dot flush. There's also, thank you, Mark. And then we'll go ahead and make the mark corner function now. We're going to do, yeah, screen. Yep. For this one, we're going to call each of the sayats. So if you want to like do that sayat from line 50, if you just want to copy that and paste like 4 of them, and then we'll adjust the parameters from there. Yep. So for the first one, it's going to be top left row with no plus I, top left call, and then at the end, it's instead of line, it's going to be a plus sign in quotation marks. Yep. Second one, the top left row is going to be added by height. And then at the end, it's going to be a plus sign. Yep. And then for a third one, top left row is going to not be added by anything. And then top left call is going to be added by width. And then the last one is going to be top left row added by height, top left call added by width. And then plus sign at the end. And then in our main, for an example, we'll create a screen object. So screen, and then space, my underscore screen. We'll give it parameters of 0, 0, 20, and a 40. Actually, let's do a 20 by 20. Might make it easier. And then my underscore screen, I'm going to call in that object, and then we're going to have it call the fill function. Single quote with a period inside. And then for the next, and then we'll have it sleep for a little bit, so we'll just do 2, or yeah, that works. After that, we're going to create another, or we're going to use the my screen object again, but we're going to have it call the mark corners function. Yep, have it sleep again. And then again, my screen, but call the say at function. And then we'll pass in like a 2, 5, and then in quotes, double quotes, hello there. And I think that's it. Oh, after class, oh, we're missing a semicolon, yeah, there you go. So Mark noticed a pretty interesting bug where if the terminal size isn't tall enough, it'll produce like different results. And then you can even like shorten the terminal from here to like squish it and then extend it back out. It'll be a similar result. That's where we are so far.
Maybe at the last thing in main is do a say at the way at the bottom. That way you don't get that program error, that program message all over your screen you just draw. If you know what I mean.
What should I do? Richard?
So like another call from the object my screen, like another say at.
Yeah, do my screen say at and what I don't know, the first one is X or Y, 20 and then 0. And then in quotes, just put a space.
Or you say that again? I'm not.
Okay, so yeah, on line 74, go ahead and do a my screen dot say at. And then for the parameters, I think Richard, you said 20, 0, and then comma, and then we'll give it just a space.
Yeah, that'll move the cursor down to the bottom, and that way when the program ends, it won't mess up your picture.
Got it. Cool.
Try. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Looks like we lost a plus there on the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's overwriting it at 20, 0.
Do my screen say at 21, 0?
Ah, I see.
Yeah, because I'm older than most of you guys, when I was doing computer programming back in the day, all we had was text, text-based graphics to talk to the user. So I've done it quite a few times.
Nice. This professor there.
Are you guys done?
Yes.
Okay, do we try clear? Do fill, then clear, then fill, then clear.
Well, it certainly looks good. What is the plus? I think we got a one-off error with the plus on the bottom. Why is it off? Can we go to the place where you mark And also, I think, I had a couple of afterthoughts for cleaning it up, but we can do that also. All right, so where is the place? Mark corners. Okay, yeah, top left call. With a plus, and then, oh, I see. And then the other side is top left row plus height -1, I think. Yeah?
Could be bad for everything.
Oh, is it also width -1? Oh, no, now I'm, hang on. Yeah,
If I,
yeah, okay. We're just shooting in the dark here, but where all the pluses are gone. See, that was not the right thing to do. I think, put it back to the way it was. Mark corners, there's a bug. There's a corner case. This is the corner case error, literally a corner case error. So marking corners, seems to be something off there, and it makes sense because I think somewhere. Oh, maybe screen.fill is the no, screen.fill is 0 to, and it's less than height. So okay, 0 to height -1. That's okay. That is correct. Do we have what about clear? Can we take a quick look at clear? And by the way, we can actually clean this code up, get rid of the function called clear altogether, and then let's go to the definition in the header file. No, not the header file. Inside the class. Inside the class, right there. Yeah, space, and then curly brace, a space. No, it's on the same line. One line. Yeah, space. Say fill, and then space. Yeah, there you go. All right, and then close it. All right, so this is kind of cool because it saves a lot of code. It's also very clear what clear does, but still there's still this one-off error. Fill. Yeah, fill looks good. All right, I'm going to leave this. Oh, no, wait a sec. Let's just look at mark corners again. Top left call is correct. And then top left row plus height. So yeah, if it's 1, it goes from 0 to 1. So that's okay. Yeah, and then from here, 0 plus width. That looks right to me. It should just be plus width, yes? Maybe I'm not thinking right here. You guys can figure it out, okay? But something seems off to me because the pluses are not in the right place, or are they? And I can't see it. Can you run it one more time, please? Yeah. Oh, semicolon. You need a semicolon after that fill thing. Inside, yeah, there. Yeah, increase the size of the console. And increase the size of the console and run it again. Yeah. Run it again. Oh, I see. So you're clearing. I see you're doing it in 3 frames. So you're doing a clear also. So it looks good now. I think it looks correct. Are you doing a clear also? What are you doing in your main? It's kind of cool. It has that nice animation kind of effect there. You got a screen, and then you fill the screen with dots, okay, and you sleep for 2 seconds, and you clear, and then you mark corners. That's great. Okay, and then you sleep for 2 seconds. Actually put in a blank line after the sleep, because then it looks much nicer that everything is, a paragraph like that. After all of the sleeps, each of the sleeps, right. And then you clear and mark corners, and then you sleep 2. And then you clear, and then say 2,5 at hello world. Yeah, okay, that's great. Now, why are you putting why do you put a space at 21,0? Because that it'll just, whatever character happens to be there, it'll just get clobbered.
The reason why we have that there is because of the error, the finished execution message that comes from the computer. We want to mark it, put it all the way down at the bottom so it doesn't interfere with the graphics that we just drew.
Oh, I see.
Professor?
Right. Anyway, the safer way to do that is just send a blank string, not a space, because a space will actually overwrite something. You just put a blank string.
Professor, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I have a doctor appointment like at 19. May I leave class right now?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay, I hope you're okay, Salami.
yeah.
Watch your recording, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. See you later. Best
See
of luck.
you.
Okay, now we can draw a cosine or a sine wave.
Yeah, yeah, no, but wait a sec. We were talking about something and yeah, empty. I know. And then you wanted to get this, run it now. Hello world. And it should say, oh, it's
Sorry to interrupt. Regarding the one-off issue, with the corners, if in screen fill,
yeah,
instead of doing I is less than height, if you do
Yeah,
I
yeah,
is
yeah.
equal to and less than height, and then we can get the last row of fill.
Oh, I see.
Oh, less than or equal to. You're saying we should do less than or equal to?
Yeah.
I see. I didn't think that was a case, but yeah, maybe it is.
I counted the lines and it printed out like 19 lines, and then the last one didn't fill.
It started at 0, and if the height is 4, it should stop at 3, right?
So then we do height -1, right?
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. Somehow it's working out. Maybe it's the numbering of the columns and rows and how these things work. But I'm glad it all got sorted out. Thank you, Jen. Okay. All right. Hello there. And then Richard sent the cursor right to the bottom, and then it ended the. All right. And then you, in fact, you can just say, instead of printing something here, you can just call move to. Move to is public, isn't it? I think you got a move to function. Yeah, it's public, isn't it? Yeah, and then you don't have to say anything there. You just move to. All right, so that's the 21st line. And also make the screen, big ass. It doesn't have to be narrow now. Make it like 100 columns so that you get a decent screen, and then we can send something through the screen, like a sine wave or something like Richard mentioned. By the way, for those of you who had a chance to look at that code that Richard shared, you'll see a lot more interesting ASCII codes too. Right, so the /E is also /033 or whatever it is, or what are we sending for escape? What are we sending for escape, by the way? Oh, /033 octal code. You can send the hex code, or you can send /E, which is like /N. It's just escape character. So he's sending a whole bunch of things for changing color and things like that. That explains, that ASCII menu that the picture of that he shared. So you can actually use that program and all the escape codes to build that. On your own too. All right, so now actually make it 120, so 120, so it's even bigger, just to give us some ideas in our head. And by the way, in your main, let's not go through that step, sleeps and all those things. We just want to get that. We just want to do our canvas and start planning our whole thing. You can get rid of all of those things except fill the screen. Yeah. You can delete all of it, because we're going to have to keep main clean. And also hello there can go. We don't need that. But we can keep mark corners. Yeah, we need to know what the corners are. And get rid of, screen move to, I see. You know what? I think get rid of the move to for now. Let's see. Oh, it is the same. We're keeping the same number of rows, right? As before? Yeah, 31, 0 is
Instead
okay.
of 31, you should put the.
No, I think we're using the same number of rows as before, Richard. Right? I put a comment there, by the way, on line 64. I'm saying put the cursor at the end of line 31. So, put the cursor at the end of line 31. All right. Okay. Now, if you run it, we should get a wide screen. Yeah. If you run it, we should get a wide screen. Do we get a wide screen? Okay. All right. So this is our, how are we getting a hello there still? Why are we still getting a hello there?
We haven't run it. That was the last one.
Get rid of the hello there. We don't need that. Oh, I see. This is a new code. You run it now?
Yeah.
I see. Okay. All right. So, all right. So here is where our animation. So here's what I'm thinking. Okay. So eventually we'll get to that in a couple of classes. No, get that thing, the screen back up there. So we're going to toss a projectile from here. Let's say the bottom left corner, and our target is going to be somewhere at the far right. Okay. And you get to define the horizontal and vertical velocity. That's all. The only two inputs you can have. and then and you'll use sleep to trace the animation, right? You can color it with ASCII codes like Richard's got, but you just have to do an X or just a space, right? A space that goes from the left corner using the velocity components. It's going to move through, and if it hits the target, you win the game. I think it is pretty cool. We should be able to get to that in a couple of lectures from now. Okay. All right. So now here's what I would like to try, right? Let's go back to our code now. Now that we've got it all working. Thank you, Brandon, for doing this. And thank you, Francis, for typing and staying on top of this. If you want, you can continue. If you want to give someone else a chance, you can point to them and say, hey, take over. That's also fine. Okay. In fact, more people should get a chance to code. Yichu hasn't coded in a while, or Tagsoe. Yeah. Either of you should also feel free to volunteer. Zara just coded last class. Arav coded recently. Manya coded recently, right? And Mark has coded recently, I think. Actually, Francis, how about now you hand over to another person, but we won't do the whole thing from scratch. We'll take it from here, if there's an orange link that you share, and then do the one more class there called a point, which is going to put a character, which is going to put a point on the screen at a defined location or something like that. Okay, so that's one more class we're going to build, more practice, as well as adding methods that objects that interact with each other. Okay, how about this? Who wants to go? Hey, actually, Rohit, you said you wanted to code later, yes? Do you want to code now, or do you want to code later?
Maybe I can code now.
You want to code now? All right. So why don't you can take the screen and code. Yeah, this URL that Francis is going to share in the chat, is it? There you go. Thank you, Francis. That's fantastic. All right. And by the way, other people should also be lining up to code. Okay, Ian. So you're going to be doing the object-oriented quest also very soon, and this will be great practice if you want to code. So we'll also get a chance on to do classes like this on Tuesday. Okay, on Tuesday. So you'll have another opportunity, but you should absolutely get into the swing of it. Right now that you're on a roll, you should just basically get more practice with objects and coding. Okay, Rohit, whenever you're tired, you should basically say, I want to hand over to someone else. Okay, hopefully we can get one more person to code. What time is it now? It's only 6:45, all right? So you've got a whole hour left. Hopefully one more person should be able to code today, right? And I'm thinking maybe Yichu, right? Because, Yichu, you haven't coded in quite a while, yes? I haven't seen you code in a while now.
No.
Yeah, so maybe after Rohit is done, you should take the screen, basically the URL that he codes and shares and codes with that.
Sure.
Okay, all right. So here's what we're going to do. We have the screen. We have this class called screen. Let's create one more class under the screen class. Okay, go under the screen class further down and get rid of the blue part of the screen.
I'm not getting the editing option.
Oh, you have to click fork this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. And by the way, when you share your code, you got to share that orange URL. It's not the same. It's not the same anymore. It's not the one that Matthew. After you fork, you get a different URL. You just have to remember.
What do you say? I'm sorry.
No, when you share this to, let's say, Yichu, whoever who's going to code after you, when you share it, you can say the same URL that
Yeah, I know. I have to send the updated version.
Yeah. Thanks. All right. So go to the place after the screen class definition. Go below screen class definition. Below that. Further down. No. Get rid of that blank line. No, get rid of the blank line. Right now, below the curly brace, that finish off the screen class. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's even more. It's the end of the screen class. The class itself. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. There, no, line 36. Yeah, right. Hit enter. Now you're going to create one more class here. Call it space. Enter one more time. Enter. Say class point. Right. So we're going to put a point there, and the point is going to have two methods, I think. Yeah, well, we'll wing it, play it by ear, as they say. All right, class space. what is it? Yeah, class, yeah, space, point. No, not full stop. POINT.
Oh,
I see, and it's capital P because it's a class.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please get in the habit, okay? Everybody who is in CS2A, I know this is not the convention used by everybody, and certain other classes, or even in your if you're working part-time and other places, maybe your classes don't start with an uppercase. For CS2A, please do that. It will be a whole lot easier for me when I scan your code, okay? I actually do read a lot of the code that goes through the system and the questioning system, especially the ones that when people are struggling and all. I do look at the code. It's a lot easier for me to read when you follow the same convention as we are following in the spec, because otherwise, yeah, it's harder for me. Yeah, please do that. Thank you. All right. So, all right, class point. Size, and then private section. You can have a private section. By the way, you don't always have to have private, okay? Why don't we do it without a private section here, okay? So in other words, you're not even going to have getters. Everything is public in this class. Anybody can access anything, okay, and change anything. Yeah, so let's not have private at all and make everything public. You can say public. Yeah, instead of private, say public in the first column. Go to the very first column. Back, no,
Where?
further back. Enter.
enter.
Yeah, and then go back to there you go, public, and then colon, yeah, colon, and then enter. Yeah, all right, so and then we're going to tab in and define all the variables, but let's also put a comment on line 39. On line 39,
39.
yeah, put further down, you put a comment there saying you can also have a class where everything is public. Yeah, put a comment there. You can also have a class where everything is public. It is the same as using the keyword struct instead of class, okay? Yeah, now you can also have a class where everything is public. And then within parentheses, yeah, within parentheses, you can say same as using keyword, same as using word struct instead of word class, right? Oh, same as using the keyword struct instead of class, right? Same as using keyword struct instead of class. Keyword space. No, not words. Keyword.
Mm-hmm.
No, not plural. Keyword. What? Yeah. Now space. Struct. STRUCT. Now I say this even though it's not part of the CS2A syllabus because it is actually useful, and I think we have used it in one of the quests, and I just mentioned it in passing in the quests. But this is what it is, okay? The struct is basically a class where everything is public, okay? And programmers do use it. They do use a struct even in C++, even when we have objects, and because a struct is a nice collection, okay? So basically, it is a class where we pack everything related in one class, like the Java math class, okay? Everything is public in there, but it's a package, it's a collection. So a struct is a collection. So lots of people use classes as all public structs, right? So harking all the way back to C, right? So in C, a struct is basically, a package. It can have stuff in it, okay? All right, so you can, yeah, instead of class. Okay, all right. Now on the next line, now you actually got an extra curly brace. Oh, you lost the cursor. You have an extra curly brace there. Get rid of the extra curly brace. All right, okay. So after public, indent in, and now you're going to say size t. Yeah, indent. No. Now you have to indent in.
What?
Tab.
I'm sorry.
Indent. Tab in.
Oh, tab it.
Size t. Space. And then what we'll do is right, okay. Row comma call comma prev row underscore row comma prev underscore call. Now, the reason I'm putting it there is because I'm imagining a method called move, right? And what move is going to do is to, if I tell a point, a point is here on screen. It's already been drawn on the console. And I want to say, hey, point, move your ass to 4,7. Bam, like that. Okay, it goes from there to there. What that means is that, well, you got 4,7, a new location where the point has to be drawn, but it doesn't look like a move until the old location has been replaced with a space. It's basically gone from there. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to store the previous there. It is a hacky, but it's a kind of elegant hack at this point in time. Maybe you can imagine a more elegant way of doing this, and you can do it, your own version in the forums. So that'll be an opportunity for you to play with the aesthetics or the efficiency or the readability of the code and saying, hey, I took that code and I modified it, right? And the goal is for us to be able to implement the method called move a point. Okay, a move, you're going to have two methods. One is say, here's a point, here's your X and Y row, comma, call. Okay, and then you say, hey, point, draw yourself, bam, it'll appear on the screen. Okay, and then you can say undraw yourself. Okay, it'll become a blank, or you can say move yourself. It'll undraw itself there and move to a new coordinate. So there's three methods where I'm thinking of that we'll be able to implement here. Okay, so that's all very simple and straightforward. Yeah, looks like you're done talking, so we'll lower your hand in 3 seconds. What the hell is that? Oh, wow. Hi, when I did this, I think it automatically lowered my, raised my hand. Yeah, Zoom's AI. All right. Did you see my hand raised? Yeah. Okay. Now and then it actually picked it up. It's kind of, it's kind of cool that they're using the AI in the right direction. But I think the latency is like super important before you actually launch it, right? It has to go like that. One of the things I found when we found actually in the speech technology lab at SRI, a place where I used to work for a very long time, is that people's tolerance for this is way back, right before. Now everybody uses speech like it's part of everyday life, but in the lab we were actually trying to get speech to be recognized by a computer, not even in real time. Okay, like 10 times the amount of time taken to speech, right? So we were trying to do that, but and then eventually we got to real time. It just decodes on the fly. But then we found that people's tolerance for errors in text to speech to text is very, very low, meaning that even small errors is the end of the technology. So that is why, even though we had accurate speech recognition a long time ago, right? Where back then I was working in the research lab there, and it was pretty accurate, not like now, obviously, with deep nets, but it was pretty accurate. But the public wouldn't take it, right? In Nuance, right, the company that we launched from SRI, they were commercialized this, but it was all enterprise and phones where you don't have a choice, you have to listen to the damn system, right? But it wasn't like this, it built into assistance. That's because the general public, the standards that we expect of machines are really, really high. That is why robotics going the last mile is much higher, very, very much harder, because if you want to go absolutely human-like, our tolerance for error is very low, even though we don't actually say it, because it's like a musical note. Once you have perfect pitch, then even if it's slightly off, it actually irritates you. Well, not irritates you, you can tell that it's off. It's not at home, right? So that and we've been over years of millions of years of evolution, I think we're just comfortable with certain things, and if things are slightly off too, it makes us that is why speech recognition had such a slow takeoff, I think, maybe. But technology is catching up really fast. So today it's like the norm, like speech recognition. Where are we going with that? I don't know how we got started talking about that. Sorry. Yeah, the Zoom thing with AI and this interruption. Yeah, and the latency has to be almost zero. Otherwise, it's more of a bother. All right, size T, row, call. All right, so this is what we're trying to do. All right, 4 methods. Now let's do the 4 methods. Okay, semicolon at the no, and we'll also initialize these 2 guys. Okay, no, actually, a semicolon at the end. Yeah, all right. So yeah, enter now. Enter. Yeah, no, that's fine. Enter one more time. Now we're going to do the methods. Okay, the first one is going to be our constructor point with the uppercase P.
Semicolon.
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. He forgot a semicolon. I thought he had a semicolon.
thought-
Did you get rid of the
yeah.
semicolon? Yeah, when I said
Because it-
initialize, I think he must have
calls
gotten rid of the
to-
semicolon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not const, not const. What was it we were trying to do? Constructor, right? So yeah. No, just say point. P-O-I-N-T.
Oh,
I'm glad you are, no, uppercase P. Constructor, always the same name as a class, okay? Whatever the class is, constructor, always the same name. And if you don't provide one, there's a default constructor provided by the compiler. May not always
Mhm.
do what you want. So many cases, it's useful to do our own constructor like this. All right, open parentheses. Yeah, and in there, you're going to be size T R, comma, size T C. Okay.
slash tr.
Yeah, size T, space R. Yeah. See, yeah. By the way, this is the optimal level of comfort that students should have with C++. I think, because if you've gotten reasonably experienced now and you're just flowing through and all, you should yield to other people because this level, Rohit, is that, is reasonably comfortable, maybe with a different language still interfering and trying to get in. This is the right stage where most people are just about to get comfortable. Okay, so everybody get to the place where slight hesitation in typing and maybe constructor, you're not exactly sure where it goes and all. That's all, right? That you're almost at the last mile. You just have to make sure, okay, I just need a bit more practice, and everybody should yield. Once you're totally comfortable, you say, all right, you know what, someone else is going to code today, and you should call someone else too. Right. So I'm very glad you're coding, Rohit, today, because it does look like you can really benefit from this practice. Thank you so much for volunteering. Okay. Yeah. Size T R, comma, size T C, size T C. And we're going to do the constructor another way than we did in screen. And I actually alluded to that in the comments. Nobody actually took that offer up, but you still have the rest of the week before the end of the week. But do the post, okay, on what are these different kinds of constructors? What are the different ways in which we can do these? Okay, all right. So size T C. See, all right, and then go to the end. No, that's it. Right? And no comma. No comma there. You got a comma after C.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and go to the end. Now here, okay, this is another form of constructor, exactly the same. You can do the same thing, but it's just different flavor, right? Put a colon. Oh, no. Gee, you know what? Point. Yeah. Okay, all right. Row. Space. Maybe a space before the colon. Well, we'll figure it out later. Okay, right. Row, ROW. And then immediately after row, open parentheses, R. Okay, yeah, R. Yeah, and then a comma after that. Not there. Comma after the closing parentheses. Yeah. Call also. Initialize that. Yeah, call.
Call.
No, call. COL.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. To C. Yeah, to C. Wait, now call, open parentheses, and C. And no, C, just C. All right, now outside of the parentheses, put curly brace, and then immediately the other closing curly brace. Okay, and put a space before the open curly brace. That is another form of constructor. So we'll put a comment on top of this line. Okay, no, inside before the open curly brace. There you go. All right, now let's go to line 41. Hit enter and put a comment there. Then there's again an invitation to research and discuss in the forums. Okay. I was actually, yeah, that's fine. Another form of constructor. Oh, yeah, and discuss. Right. And then full stop. And then you can say within parentheses, another form of a constructor. Okay, now there is a method called draw, right? Now the draw method, I think
After this.
Yeah, sorry. You have a question? I was just thinking very quickly, but sorry. You have a question, Rohit?
No.
All right, okay. So one sec, okay, I'm just thinking what we can do. All right, here's what we'll do. We'll do a draw, and then we'll do a move to. There's one more method I had thought of, and we had a draw, undraw, and yeah. All right, okay. Draw and clear. Let's say draw and clear. All right. So go to the next line after 43 and hit enter. No, after 43. You put the yeah. Get rid of the blank line. All right. Now one more blank line. Now one more blank line. Okay. Now you can say void open parenthesis space. Oh, you know what? One sec, okay. The draw method really needs to be in the screen class. So all right, here's what we're going to do. All right, so get rid of that line for a sec. We're going to modify the screen class, and I'll just talk through that in for a second. Okay, get rid of that. All right, go to the screen class. Yeah, go to the line 35. Learn to line 35, I think. Further up to the screen class. Well, this is all evidence that I didn't really think this through properly today before today's class. Is this a class? Okay. All right, get top left. All right, now further down, sorry, further down.
The class.
No, even further down, even below move to. There you go, above clear. All right, 31, that may be a good place to start. Okay, go to line 31 and hit enter. All right, one more time. What is it? Move to and 0, 3, 3. Oh, it is a cursor and the screen. You know, the design for this whole thing is totally screwed up. I totally did not think this through properly before starting this project. No, we're still going to do this, okay? And we'll try and clean this up as much as possible. But if you are planning to be a professional, obviously, you should not follow the example that we did in today's class and Tuesday's class, because we actually just started off coding and we're winging it here and there. I think the project has gotten sophisticated enough that it does require a certain amount of forethought. Okay, I shouldn't have just jumped into it without thinking this through, but we're going to clean this up. Okay, so don't worry. All right, so just give me 1 minute to think through this. Okay, all right, so we got the screen class, and the screen class has got a cursor, and it's got a say at. Okay, all right, so and then we have a point. How about we just say, all right, okay, so I think this is how we'll do it. This is how we can keep it clean. I'm sorry. Okay, just get rid of that blank line. We'll go back to the point class, and then we'll just do everything in the point class. Okay. All right. So no, we'll put a blank line there because clear seems to be those guys. Yeah. All right. Go back to the point class. Thank you. Right. And I hope you're actually learning a lot, even from my mistakes. Yeah, because these are some of the things that could happen just by starting a project without thinking through these things. So wise men learn from other people's mistakes. Okay, so you can actually learn from your professor's mistakes too. All right, so yeah, here's what we're going to do. All right, so point, yeah, and then you say void, yeah, void space draw. All right, open parentheses, and then you're going to give it a screen object by a reference. Okay, so you're going to say screen with an uppercase S. It is a screen object, right? Screen, right? Space, screen space, ampersand S, right? Ampersand SCR,
What do you say?
SCR. Ampersand is shift 7.
And
Yeah, and yes, exactly. Yeah, and ampersand SCR screen, right? So we're passing that screen as by reference SCREEN. Oh, I see. That's fine. Yeah, you had it right, but a comma, and then you want to draw the point. That is basically it. Okay, semicolon at the end. So close the parentheses and semicolon, and then we'll put a comment. Put a comment on the line. Draw the point on the given screen. Okay. All right. obviously you guys have got to try and refactor this and see if you can rearrange the code and make it look nicer, but we'll try and do our best today. All right, so the next thing we want to do is one more line or blank line and say void undraw, right? Maybe we should have called it set and unset, but that's okay. Yeah, call it set and unset instead of draw and undraw. It's much nicer, I think. Yeah, unset and set. Oh, because we have setters, and maybe we'll call it show and unshow. Oh, draw and undraw. I don't know. Up to you guys, okay? I thought set and unset because then we have setters. It confuses the hell out of people. All right, we'll go with set and unset for now, right? And then again, you're going to pass it the screen. Pass it the screen by your reference. Uppercase SCREEN, semicolon. And then the other thing we want to do is move point dot move, avoid move. No, we don't need a comment because and we can, you can remove the blank line between set and unset because these things we are going to implement out of line now. Yeah, right. And the next line, you're going to say void move, right? Screen and then size T R size T screen ampersand screen ampersand screen and screen, yeah, comma and then size T R size T R comma size T C. Okay, so move the point from the current location to R comma C. New row, new column. That's what it means. You can put a comment if you want, right? You can put a comment saying move the point to row R call C.
Move the point to?
Yeah, row R call C on the screen. Okay, so those are the only things that we have to implement. Actually, it's not that ugly, okay? In my mind, I thought, the factoring of this code is so ugly, it's not going to be useful for students, or probably lead you down the wrong path. But actually, I don't think so. It is actually nicer now. Get rid of the blank line. We're going to do those 3 functions out of line, define these 3 functions out of line. And by the way, now let's also clean up things a bit. Okay, where is the point class? This entire point class. Where is this entire point class? No, like line 39 onwards. Yeah, right. Cut that whole thing. Cut that whole thing. Cut the whole point class. Cut. Okay, select and then cut. Triple click the line and drag. Triple click. Yeah. Right. Cut it. Is it a Mac?
It's a window.
Control X. Right, get rid of the blank line, backspace. Right, now go to the end of where all the screen stuff is. Go to the end of the file.
End of the file?
Yeah, end of the file. Above main. Yeah, now, go there. Now, two slashes. And then lots of hyphens. Just like a divider. Lots of hyphens.
Oh.
Dash. Lots of, yeah. Kind of like, yeah, that's enough. Right, now hit enter. Now paste what you have in your clipboard. Right, actually put a blank line above it so it's cleaner. Right, and now go to the end of the point class, put a semicolon because it was missing. Yeah, and a semicolon at the end of the curly brace. On line 72. Yeah, semicolon there.
Semicolon.
Semicolon is next to your L. There you go. All right. Now a couple of enters. No, not so many. We just want the divider again. That divider. In fact, you can copy that divider and paste it in one more place. It'll just clean up the code. We're still under 100 lines, which is kind of cool. And I think we still will be 100 after we finish those things. Right. One more blank line, but a blank line above that too, so that our point class is now between those dividers. Okay, here, one more blank line, and then we're going to type those 3 methods, okay? Inside of that. Yeah, there you go, enter. All right, now you say void point : set.
double colon, this.
Double colon, no, not double quote, double colon, colon.
Okay.
Yeah, set. No
Yes.
space, set. Yeah, this is that thing that we had there, right?
Mhm.
And then open parentheses, screen and screen. We're going to define it now. Uppercase size, yeah. There you go. Yes, exactly. Yeah. All right. Now, yeah. All right. Now, go to the end, space, curly brace, and then get the body. No, not a semicolon. We'll just say space, curly brace. Space.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. No, yeah. All right. Okay. I usually put a space before it, but that's okay. But you want to go hit enter after that, not curly. Yeah. Hit enter. Okay. All right. Actually, you want a blank line after the curly brace too. So, you got some working space there. Now let's go and yeah, there you go. Now what we want to do is on line 75, we're going to set it on the screen. Okay. So we want to say screen dot say at screen dot say at, yeah, screen dot no lowercase, my object. This is the object.
Oh.
Yeah. I realized this is the first time that it's the second lecture after we started talking about classes and objects. So for some of you who already are familiar with objects, this comes naturally. But for others of you, this notation is kind of new. That as an object passed in, I'm going to go object dot that method. As you will find out by talking to your friends who've been doing this for a while in other languages like Python and Java, it'll just come in like a few days of coding, it'll just be natural. So that's what we're doing. We got an object passed in by parameter as a parameter. We're saying, all right, we got an object screen. That screen object has got a method. My hand raised, okay? That screen object has got a method called say at. So I'm going to use say at to show that star, or we'll say yeah, all right, screen dot say at. Well, when we say that, it'll be a whole lot clearer. Okay, say at
Okay.
SAY. Yeah, say at. And what are the parameters? Open parentheses, we'll see if it auto completes. No, it doesn't auto complete. What are the three parameters? Say at. Oh yeah, row, column, and then what to say. Yeah. All right. No, not row column. What is? Yeah. You're right. Yeah, thank you so much. All right. So we want to pass our row, our column. The point is saying, draw me. Here's my row. Here's my column. Right. And what should you use to show me? Right. And I think what shall we use to show
Row,
the
column, and
well, maybe we'll use star. No, call COL.
Oh.
That's the name of on line 64. You see the name of the call. Right, and then say star. Okay, we'll use a star to show our star. No. Star, the star asterisk, shift 8, and then that should be within quotes. That's what we want to say at that place. Now that should be within double quotes. All right. Now, yeah, exactly. Put a semicolon at the end. Yeah. Now, on the next line. No, at the end, put a semicolon. Right? On the next line, you want to also say, no, not a colon. I think it's a colon. Is that a colon? It's a colon. Change semicolon. The semicolon is, yeah, there you go. Right now, hit enter. Yeah, there you go. On the next line, we want to say prev row equals row and prev call equals call. Okay, so we just remember. Okay. All right. Now get rid of the blank line and set is done. All right. Now what we want to do is also do the unset method. Okay. So copy the entire method 74 to 78, paste it one more time. And then, no, not the whole thing. Only that method 74 to 78. Yeah. Now for unset, we want to basically say, space there. Right, we don't want to use a fill character really. Ideally, we should use a fill character, but let's use a space because in my mind, I'm thinking as the projectile goes through that screen, it's going to leave a trail. Basically, it's going to eat its way through that thing, okay? So as the projectile goes, it just leaves a hole, like a, you know, boulder punching through the mountain, right? So that's the effect I have in mind. We'll see if it works, okay? We're going to do a space when we do an unset. Okay, all right, so copy line 74 to 78. Yeah, paste it one more time. There you go, put a blank line there, put a blank line there.
Okay.
Yeah, right
Yes.
there. Yeah, all right, now change the word set to unset. Okay, now how do we, yeah, put a space in, and yeah, put a space instead of the star. So that should erase the star. And now should we store the previous row column? What should it be? I think what we should do here is, all right, we're going to leave it like this for now. Get rid of the assignments to no, one sec. Okay, one sec. I put a comment there. We got to come back to it. Put on line 82, on line 82, on line 82, put a comment. 82, put a comment. Yeah, revisit this. Revisit how to do this later. Okay, revisit how to do this later. What I mean by that is when you do an unset, what do you do with the previous row and previous column? The previous is what tells us the previous location of, right? We're not initializing it to some, you know, string colon npos or something, but we'll come to that later. All right, so the third method we want to implement is move to, right? Move, right? So 84, go to line 84 and paste it one more time, yet another time. Yeah, now blank line before that, and change the set to move. Now this is going to be a slightly more involved method. Yeah, it takes two more parameters, size TR and size TC. Two more parameters. After screen, say after screen, after the word, there you go, yeah, comma, size TR, size TC. Actually, I'm talking too much today. You guys should take over and talk more. All right, now, size. All right, now what we want to do is at row, comma, column, we want to say space. Yeah, space. Yeah, we want to erase the current thing. Yeah, now on the next line, on the next line, go to the end of that line and hit enter. Yeah. No, even before that line, Yeah, there you go, and enter. Now what we want to do is, yeah, hit enter. Let's do a sleep, okay? It's all unconventional, but it actually gives us that, yes, sleep for a second, and then we'll do the move, okay? Sleep for 1 second. Sleep for 1 second, right? Oh, I see, sleep, open parentheses, 1, close parentheses.
Oh.
Yeah, right, sleep 1 second, semicolon at the end. I hope we have the UNISTD file. Yeah, because you guys were doing the sleep before, right? Hit enter, hit enter. Now we want to we want to screen.sayat at the new location, right? So you want to say screen.sayat r comma c
Screen
dot sayat r comma c
say at space.
sayat, the same as before. You already have it there. Yes. Yeah. R comma c. This is a new location. R comma c comma, and then now you want to put the star. So our effect will be the effect will be, you'll have a star, it'll disappear from there, and after a second it'll appear there. Okay, so you'll see a hole like that. Hopefully, hey, in my mind. Anyway, I put a semicolon at the end. Now you want to say enter. Now you say previous row equals R and previous column. No, you got that. You got the two lines there. Just change that to, you want to, yeah, blank line, and then change the row to not there, the other row on the right. Yeah, change to R, and the next one to C. I think that is it. We should now be able to, oh, well, we didn't do it in main. We didn't do our main to do these things. Yeah, so let's go to our main and set a point and move the point and see what happens. Okay, so go to our main. Where's our main? No, our main is at the very end now, at the very end.
Yeah.
All right, now go to line 101, hit enter. Now Get rid of line 104. We're not going to, we're testing something else now. And so, by the way, everybody should basically watch how we're testing the classes we built. Now, so far in questing, all your homework, maybe in also programming that you're doing in other classes, when something goes wrong, when something doesn't work, you sometimes get some feedback from the questing system. Right, but this feedback will be, this is the output, this is the output I expected. Here's the difference between the two, right? So that kind of error messages come back to you right now, like Ian was, pointed out before and all. But what happens later on is that even actually starting from question number 6 and 7 and all, you won't get the, this and this and compare and difference and so on and so forth. You'll have a message that says, hey, I tried to do this and I couldn't. What went wrong? Okay, now you'll be, chances are you'll get like so frustrated, tear your hair out and curse at the system. Okay, but you have to remember that it's an inanimate object. It can be cursed at, but you have to do what real programmers do all the time, because when something breaks, you just know it broke. And so we have to become Sherlock Holmes. Okay, that is 90% of the job of a computer scientist or a programmer. Okay, so because learning to program, and that is just the mechanics of it. But the real creative part of being a computer scientist, what really commands your money, and saying, well, I need to get paid, or things like that. Yes, 90% of that is just debugging. Okay, and figuring out where the problem is. And in order to do that, you got to turn yourself into Sherlock Holmes. What that means is that a detective that is going to say, well, I got this thing here, let me test it. Okay, let me test it to make sure it breaks. If it doesn't break, it's good. So you are going to try and break your own system by calling it in all different ways. You're going to try and do this for your own classes, because otherwise the feedback you get from the questing system will be so little. Right? You say, I'm not being told anything, but it doesn't work. So the ticket there is not to get angry at the questing system, or not to get angry at anything at all, but just to know, I got some really useful information that something didn't work. Okay, and so you just have to figure out why it didn't work. And you can ask around, but I would really recommend that you don't look at the past Reddit posts. Okay, just ask your current classmates, and we will all help you. Okay, so but you got to get good at creating your own main, although you won't submit your main in your homework. Okay, in your questioning, you don't submit the main, but you will be creating your own main. And let's say you'll be creating an object, testing the object. Everything looks okay. Now I'll submit it. Okay, except the main, submit everything. I'll test it with my own main. Right? You have your main, I have my main. You test it with your main, I test it with my main. Yes, that is how all of questioning is going to be, all the way up to red 27. Okay, all the way up to the 9th quest in red. There's 27th quest. This is the way it will be. It's just like in the real world, really. When we get a little bit of information, but we try and ration the information as much as possible, so that you get to play the part of the detective. All right, so now here, let's declare a point. Okay, point P-O-I-N-T, capital P, and say my point, space my point. No, it's a space my point, and then within parentheses, oh yeah, Richard posted something. Okay, my point, and within parentheses you're going to say 4,5. Okay, 4,5. All right, now yeah, semicolon at the end. Now let's try and set the point. Okay, so say my point dot set my screen.
My point dot
Set my, see, this is actually really cool, isn't it? This is like the second class of object-oriented programming. Really, this is this part of the course, and we're already playing with 2 different objects, and they're interacting with each other. Yes, isn't that cool? Right? Already you've built a program in under 100 lines. Well, yeah, slightly over 100 lines now, that has more than one object. We created 2 objects, and we've got the 2 objects messing with each other. We got a screen object, we got a point object, and the point object has got a method called draw myself on the screen. So the point object gets a screen object and says draw myself on the screen, and so it says to the screen, draw me. Okay, and it's doing so. That chain to follow is actually very nice. It is a common thing. You'll create these things and start working with objects. This is essentially what you're going to do, right? So my screen, right? And then semicolon at the end. Now enter, 2 enters. Now let's say my point dot move. Is it what do we call it?
Set.
My point dot move. No, move. I think we called something. We said move to or move. Put a dot. Put dot. It doesn't autocomplete. Why doesn't it autocomplete? No, go up more. Go further up. Scroll up. Just a little bit. Yeah. Point. Unset. Point double colon move. Yeah, it should have auto-completed that. Let's, we'll do it by hand, right? Move. MOVE. Oh, actually it did it now. Okay, open parentheses. Now let's say you want to move this point to 4 commas row and then column 4,7. Yeah, all right. And then put enter again, and then sleep 1 and then move it to 4,8. Sleep for a second, and move it to 4,8. Yeah, semicolon. And then on the next line, you want to copy that move. No, on the next line, you want to copy that my point dot move to 4,8. Yeah.
4,8.
Yeah, 4,8, and get rid of the indentation. No, the blank line is good. Yeah, 1 blank line, and then get rid of the indentation. Indentation on 109. On line 109, there's any extra indentation. Right, we should be able to run it now. Increase the size of the console. No, one more. Yeah, increase the size of the console. Even more. Yeah, we should be able to run it now, I think. Well, at least we'll see what the errors are. My point on move. Oh, we have to give it the screen object. We have to get move, and then we have to give it the screen. We didn't give it the screen object. My screen. My dot move for the dot move. Dot move should should have my screen, comma 4,8, and then the previous one also should be my screen, comma 4,7.
After the move, I have to write my screen.
No, after the open parentheses. My screen, comma. Yeah, and then also the previous one. No, for the 4,7 also, you should say my screen. Is there anything else? I think that's it. Right, yeah, run now. Yeah, increase the size, and let's see. Oh wow, did it work? Well, it seemed to. Oh well, we forgot the the thing that Richard did. Move to column 31. But certainly it seemed to have done something here. It said 2 points, but it didn't unset the previous point. Why didn't it? Something happened there. Okay. All right. Let's make it sleep for 5 seconds now in our move. Okay. Go to our main again. Something happened there, and it seems to be problematic. So we just need to figure out what the problem is and get it fixed, because this is what we're going to do. This is our basis for doing the Angry Birds game. Yes. So we're basically, does everybody see that we're actually moving in the direction? Well, hopefully we're moving in the direction of setting the stage, literally, for this Angry Birds game that kind of primitive Angry Birds game that we're building. We're doing this thing, okay, and then we're creating a way in which we can have a point, and that point can basically move through the screen at 1 second intervals. We'll make it half a second, whatever it is, okay, and it's going to leave a trail, okay. We're building this. Next class, what we'll do is we'll also put a target on the right side, okay, somewhere, put an X there, okay, and then we'll say, here's a target, and then give me your horizontal velocity, vertical velocity by positioning on line 31 like Richard did, okay, and then we'd say enter those values. No, actually that's even before the whole thing is drawn, right? So we just ask those values, and then we start the projectile, which we say is a star, okay, and then we're going to move the star according to the newly calculated positions, bam, 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 like that. And at the end, when it's in the target column, we check if it is the target row also, and then we get a hooray. All right, you hit the target. Otherwise, you say you missed it. Okay, it is actually pretty cool because, you know, in my mental simulation, it actually plays very well, and it's eminently doable in 2 classes from now. Okay, and I'm very excited for it. But let's figure out what this era is. Okay, and it shouldn't just be me. Yeah, we got a half hour essentially, 20 minutes. It shouldn't just be me. Something is wacky here. Okay, how about this? And tell me if you don't want me to do this. Okay, I am. You know, I feel I've been talking too long today. So I would like to take a break. Essentially. However, I'm happy to walk you through this bug, debugging this, but I would like it very much if you guys debugged it. Okay, I know there's something wrong here, but or at least even if everything is right, you just have to be absolutely sure it's right. Okay, I'm not absolutely sure it's right. So please take a look, run this. I've given you the scaffolding, the framework of a main that will test it. So you're going to set a point, move a point, make sure everything works. Okay. And in fact, next class, I'll also show you how you can take this and split it into 3 files, like point.h, and then, a screen.h, and then main.h, or, main.cpp, point.cppn, right? Like that, 3 files, which you'll be doing all this, starting quest number 4 or 5 or something like that. But certainly, I'll show you how to do all that here in class also. Now, is that okay with you? Would you guys like to debug this? Because I'm not sure there is no bug here. Okay, I'm pretty sure there's this bug in whatever is going on, but I'm confident also that you guys can fix it. Okay, hopefully someone else than the one who fixed the previous bug, because take a crack at it. Everybody should take a crack at it. Maybe as a group, communal bug fixing effort. Suggest to Rohit. Okay, and Rohit, by the way, if you're tired, you should also say, I want to just call someone else, right? Call out someone's name and say, can you take the screen? And
if someone want to do, I can take a break. Otherwise, I can do.
Yeah, does anybody want to code? Otherwise, Rohit says he'll continue. Ian, do you want to code? Actually, do we have to code now? Yeah, we may have to debug it, right? We have to debug it. But this will be great practice, Ian, because someone will be debugging this code, which doesn't work as properly as we expected. So someone will be debugging it, and you'll be executing the debug as they say. Let's try this, and so on. Ian, do you want to do this?
Sure, Professor.
Fantastic. This will be very useful too. All right, hey guys, I'm counting on you guys to debug this, okay? Or call me back and say, we're confident everything works. Okay, so Ian, share the screen. By the way, Rohit, thank you so much. Share the URL. Okay, yeah, there you go. Yes, pick it up and share your screen, and then I'm going to turn the laptop around. And these guys will basically, figure it out. Because everybody should really be coding it on their own also. So you're trying to figure out what's going on. Make sure the move works. Right, and then we'll take it from there. All right, okay. Just call. Let me know if I should come back here. Well, I'll be here anyway. Right, I'm going to be here. Maybe I'm going to drink a little bit more water. Yeah, and please keep talking. Hey, someone should say, hey, let's run it. Even if you're running it, you should be vocal and say, hey, I'm running it. Is it doing the right thing? Why is it doing what is that space doing there, and so on and so forth. Keep talking through this and it'll be much better.
All right, guys. To be honest, I wasn't paying that much attention for the rest of the lecture. Can you guys help me out with this?
Great. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyone who's coding, you should basically just say, do exactly like Ian or Zara did. Okay. The person who's coding is basically functioning in the capacity of a typist, even though they may already have experience. They'll just be a typist because that'll give 2 people a chance. Another person can dictate the code and this person can type it in. Okay. So please call out and say, hey, can someone tell me what to do now?
Can you scroll down? I think you, wait, Rohit, can you reshare? I think you just shared, yeah. I think you just shared the same code that I sent. So you have to reshare it.
Okay. Just give me a minute. This is the same one I'm getting.
Oh, it should. Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like the exact. This is, yeah, this is not it.
Okay. Let me. You can try this one.
There you go. Can you turn on?
My bad.
Is this the right one or no?
Can you scroll down? Yeah, this is the one. Oh my goodness. Okay. First thing you can do is fork the code. Anyone have any ideas?
So on my end, your voice is like really low. I don't know if there's a way you could turn up your mic.
Anyone have any ideas?
My guess was for the move function for point. So Ian scroll like pretty much all the way down. Yeah, and then a little bit up. Line like 88. Yeah. Okay, perfect. I was thinking for line 87. Should we be setting the row and call to the prev row and previous call? Because I think what he wanted to, or I guess what the professor wanted to do was to create like another dot at the next spot and then erase the previous one.
So just
Yeah.
put like -1 or what is that?
Oh, I meant like, so that row parameters, you see on line 82, the prev underscore row, pretty much just type that in for that one. And then the second parameter will be prev call. That's my guess. I guess we can try it. Oh, you're gonna have to make the terminal like pretty big. I don't know if that's what he was looking for.
You're supposed to fill the previous spot with a dot.
No, it's just supposed to be like an empty trail because I think how he wants it is that it's going to like create like an empty space behind it in an arc.
Trajectory.
Oh, this would be ready for submission then? It's all good or?
Can you go down to the main function?
Wait, so what's the problem right now?
I think it was that we were having the dots appear, but it wasn't erasing like the previous one.
Wait, so like when the star moves, but then it's supposed to leave the empty space behind.
Yeah, but
Like
it's creating like instead duplicate stars.
Can we try adding a few more, just to see?
Yeah, I added a few more moves. So I did like 4-6, 4-7, 4-8, and then I did sleep 2.
Right.
And that seemed to fix the issue. After doing the previous row, previous call for line 90. Or wait, what line is that for you guys?
Right.
For point move.
Okay, so can you change 5 on line 103 to 6?
Oh no, I kept the 5. I
Oh,
just
you-
kept the 5.
The
And then
semicolon's
from the one
wrong on
after that.
110.
Right.
Line 110, semicolon's wrong.
Okay, so yeah, let's just add a few more steps. So do we need to be setting in between each step or no?
So
Sorry.
if you've got it working, try to get it move across the screen in a for loop, meaning the the column position is incremented by 1 each time in a for loop. So you'll basically have a ball punching through the screen.
Or you can use the steps to find the line of 2 points slope equation and just calculate any 2 points and it'll draw a line between them.
wait, do we just move it horizontally across the screen? Then we just increment in the loop, right?
Yeah, do horizontally across the screen first, and then.
Wait, let's see what this looks like first. Can you run it?
I was
Okay.
wondering if we should have something where there's like 2 asterisks when it moves across. That way it's not like completely gone after every single.
Wait, that dot is just there because it skips from 4-5 to 4-7. And if you just do 4-5, 6-7, and it just gets rid of all of them. But I don't know about the previous one. That's something I can't figure out. Or I haven't figured out yet.
So try that. And then if this works, we can just do a for loop.
Like if you shorten the time, like the wait time, like then it appears more continuous. I don't know if we could do like half a second or like even a third of a second.
If you want to sleep for less than a second, you have to use something called a U sleep. That's micro sleep, U sleep. USLEEP, and then you can give it the number of microseconds.
So we can do a for loop now, right? Looks like it's working.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
You guys want to start with a for loop?
Yeah, I'm just.
But you would do it
listening.
after the after line 104.
And then you can comment out like lines 108 through 117.
I guess you can go size I equals 5 because that's where we start.
Your
with.
integer I, yeah.
I is less than 120. Is that our width?
Maybe put it 100.
Should we use size T? Cause like, I don't know, cause he doesn't go negative, right?
Right. I plus plus. And then, yeah, in the for loop, curly brackets. And then inside it, you can put my point dot move.
Let's just put the move and then the sleep.
Yeah. And then parentheses. My screen, for and I. And then the sleep. And the semicolons at the end of each line.
So do you want to go now or do you want to keep on going?
That's cool. Hey, by the way, is it all working now?
Did you get out?
Hey, Jesus, your mic is on.
Oh,
I keep the
okay.
game on 6 seconds.
Hey, Jesus, I think
You
your
can try again later.
Jesus,
Yeah.
microphone is on, and I think we can hear.
Distraído. No se me no lo pienso tanto. Mi juego es como mi medicina.
Jesus, your microphone.
Maybe he muted the meeting. I don't know.
Oh, I can mute him, right? How do
I
I
think
mute
so,
him?
Professor.
Me too, I can hear that.
Okay, all right, good. All right. Now, yeah, your usleep is compiling, but still you're getting 1 second gap. Why is that?
Because of sleep.
Yeah, you got to sleep in your move. Your move method has a sleep in it. So it's sleeping for a whole second. So go to your move method, point.move. There you go. In your point.move, you got to sleep 1. Now that has got to be usleep. Yeah, and that's got to be 150, 150 microseconds. 150 microseconds, is it? So it's 150,000 milliseconds. Yeah, okay. 150,000 milliseconds. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what effect we get. Run it and no, increase the size of the console. No, even more because oh, it's too fast. Make it 1,000. No, even 1,000 is 1 millisecond. No, 1,000 is 1 millisecond. So what we want is 500,000. That's half a second. 500,000 is half a second. 500 times 1,000. No, that's 50,000. Make it 500 times 1,000, so it's easier for me to, or generally people to tell. That's 500,000 times 1,000. 500 star 1,000. Okay, that is a half a second. Okay, the animation speed will be much better. Okay, now make it 250,000. Yeah, that's a quarter second. So you get 4 frames per second. Actually, you know what? Make it 125,000. 125,000. That's 8 frames a second. No, 16 frames a second, which should be real. It should be like animation. Yeah, okay, great. All right, cool. All right, okay. We're at the end of class today. We're at end of class, but I think a thumbs up if you think it was successful. Okay, this class was successful both in being interesting. We got something done which you can take. We can next class, and also you guys can for the rest of the until next class develop more. And obviously you got to put the position the cursor at the end, like Richard suggested. Also, the other thing that you guys may want to do is try and plot a parabola, right? Y equals x squared. Or a line. Actually, parabola might be better than the line because Richard gave the equations, I think, for a straight line, but drawing a line in a discrete space is actually surprisingly challenging. Okay, because you got to do aesthetically pleasing line breaks because it's pixelated. It's going to break at various places. It's going to be zigs and zags. So determining the optimal placements of these zigzags is actually harder. So you may actually have much better luck plotting a parabola. So you can try doing that, and you can animate. And also, if you're up to it, you can look at the file that Richard shared, and it has other control codes, right? Not just for cursor positioning, but also for making it bold, making it change color to orange, green, yellow. All of these things, you can actually send codes and say, well, when I move, I'm going to make it orange for a second, and then after a couple of milliseconds, I'll make it green, right? So it'll have an effect, right? Like glow and settle into place, glow and settle into place. You can have that effect in your. So if you look at the file that Richard shared, or you can just Google too. And for ANSI codes for coloring cursor, it'll be fun. I think we reached a reasonable segue point today, right? What time is it? 7:52. It's on the dot. Okay, today's class is actually ending on time rather than overtime like we usually do, and I think we got to the end of that particular subchapter. Next class, what we'd like is for someone to produce all of this. Thank you, Ian. Ian, thank you so much. Okay, and hopefully you'd be able to review this code. And next class, when someone else is live coding, or you can live code too if you want. Well, second choice, right? There's someone else will get first preference. Then you can dictate the code by looking at, or you read this code and understand. You can also dictate the code. And I will show you next class how to split this up into multiple files and all these things, which will be useful in questing as well as your own projects. And it's going to be great fun. Okay. So the on target next week then is we will try and get we'll start with this, get this done in the first 20 minutes. Someone should Ian or someone is going to call out the code and someone else is going to type it in. Okay, and I'm thinking maybe I don't know, Yichu was here, right? And all right, someone like that who hasn't coded before is going to code, and then when it's there, my plan is that we will try and do get the horizontal and vertical velocity, launch velocity of the projectile, using C out CM like we did earlier. Okay, and then we're going to use that to calculate the position of that projectile as it's moving from left to right. Okay, when we've got that, next stage is we'll plant something on a target column. Okay, and see if this is hitting that. So all of those hopefully will lead to us completing. If we don't complete the game, we'll get it to a certain place where you can complete it and share it on Reddit. I think it'll be fun. Okay, and we got to fair in a certain number of lectures left. I think this is week 7, so we got 8, 9, 10, 11, 4 more weeks of lectures. We can easily get this done and still talk about pointers and links. I think I want to get to pointers and links at the end of next week. Okay, not next week, maybe at the end of next week, hopefully. We'll see how it goes. And then it'll be, even more fun. But in order to get there is important. Salami, if you're watching this, make sure you get all the way to the end and, also code this from scratch on your own. You can look at it a couple of times, but you should be able to code this on your own from scratch, maybe looking at it once or twice. Okay, everybody, not just Salami, until you get comfortable. And I can guarantee that you will totally get comfortable with it 2, 3 times, maximum of 3 times, copying it over 100 lines 3 times. You'll be totally comfortable at the end of 3 times, right? The problem is most people don't do the 3 times, but if you do the 3 times, it will actually super duper pay off in the end. That's all I have. So if you're happy with this class, you learned something new and it was interesting and fun, give me a thumbs up, and then I'll see you on Tuesday. Have a fantastic weekend. Okay, code more, I hope to see more examples of this code. And Ian, please share, okay? Please share this link also with a paragraph, one paragraph maybe, saying this is what we tried to do in class. And hopefully we're building up to some kind of an Angry Birds-like game, okay? So we'll try and say that, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you all so much. Okay, have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing all of your smiling faces on Tuesday. All right, okay, see you later. Bye.